So I'm a little sweaty because I spent the last 4 hours doing these Savage remix choreo by the Nene Twins, the TikTok choreo. So excuse the sweat that's like still glistening from my forehead and my face. The point of this video is to share what my experience was like doing DIY quarantine braids, DIY quarantine box braids for the very first time ever on my hair. I have had my hair braided plenty of times. I tend to prefer to go to talented artists, and at the risk of sounding like an asshole, I never really understood why people would step out the house with like clearly DIY braids when you could just invest the money and have them look bomb. However, after doing these braids myself, I see that if you can do a decent job at your own braids, you're really saving so much money. You're only investing your time. The hair that I used, I have a shit ton of leftover braid hair from all of the braided styles I've had over the years. So going into quarantine, next week will be my 11th week on quarantine. I have a ton of hair I can use. However, I did not know how to do anything with the hair. So to try out this style for the first time, I used the feather tip pre-feathered braid hair by Bobbi Boss, and this is 54 inches pre-stretched in a 1B27. So you can see that 1B27, my hair is colored. This is like my hair in there, but also the ends kind of match it. Also, you just use what the fuck you have or order on Amazon or whatever. It's not that big of a deal. These are DIY braids. This was really to give myself a break from doing my hair. I was extremely tired of doing my hair, and I was like, fuck it, I need to try to do something just to give myself a break. I was pleasantly surprised at how relatively easy it is to do box braids. I think that once you get the hang of securing the hair and once you get the hang of doing the braid and keeping it clean, you can really perfect the style and you can make it look a lot better than just DIY quarantine braids, something that you could be proud of and step outside in. For these braids, I used 4 or 5 packs of hair, so it was about $20, if that, worth of hair. I definitely used a little too much hair. I think I could stand to use a little bit less. I divided my hair into 3 sections, so the back was one section. I have 8 braids in the back, 4 on each side, and then I had 8 braids on the right side, 8 braids on the left side, and I had it in those sections. The back section, the way that I approached that first was taking my rat tail comb, and I would part as I went and then use the rubber band method. The rubber band method is what they suggest for new timers. And I used that and it went really fast. Like, I think I did the back 8 braids within 20 to 30 minutes. I was shocked at how quickly that went. And then I fucked around and paused to go have dinner, and then I started doing other stuff, and then the front section just took so much longer. But instead of parting as I went with the front section, I wanted to make sure that it looked decent. Right now it's hella grown out, so like ignore that. But I went ahead and parted off all of the sections, rubber banded all of the sections, and then I braided. I also took the hair and had the hair already divided up and had it laid out in my bathroom. Something I would suggest is using pre-stretched hair. It's a game changer. It saves so much time. Use pre-stretched hair and you will thank yourself later for doing that. Having to deal with hair that's not stretched already, it gets so tangled. I just found it to be more frustrating for me. And as a first timer, as a first timer with doing box braids, I just gave up originally, like before, when I had tried to do this style on hair that was not pre-stretched. What else would I say? I just used what I had in my house. I didn't have any like really good gel type of products because I don't typically use gel on my hair. So I think I have Eco Style or olive oil gel that's like this big ass container I've had left over for forever. So I used that on my hair that had already been stretched out, and my braids are a little janky right now. But the thing that was more difficult for me was getting it attached, and so I took all the rubber bands off actually, so it's loosened up a little bit. But getting the hair hooked around the rubber band, honestly, for all of the braids I have, I did something different for every single one of those braids, and I have 24 braids. And so on those 24 braids is 24 different ways of attaching it. I still need to do research and figure out the best way to attach it. Next time, instead of using rubber bands, I'm going to try to do knotless. Send me all of your positive energy for that. So really the thing that I thought was easiest was braiding the hair and keeping it neat. For the most part, I mean, my hair at this point is ready to come out, so it definitely looks a little more bootleg, but my braids were pretty neat going down, and I was actually most proud of that. For me, what it was having my Denman brush, having my gel, and brushing as I went. So as I would braid the hair, you can see in here, I made it a point to add the gel and to make sure that I'm detangling, well, not detangling, but smoothing it and making sure to blend the hair as I braided. So I would smooth it, braid a little bit, smooth it, braid a little bit, add more gel as needed. And for me, I think that the key to making this style look clean is, one, does your hair blend with the hair that you're using? Because that's one way that it'll blend. Is your hair prepped properly? Is it moisturized? Is it detangled? Is your hair stretched? I think having your hair stretched makes it easier. I did not blow my hair out because I was just experimenting. So I had my hair just like a twist out that was fluffed out. I think if I had my hair blown out, it would have blended even better. But really taking your time as you go down the braid and making sure that you have it gelled all the way. Also, something you should absolutely do is get some really boiling hot water and dip your ends. I dipped my ends just like I would have if I got my hair professionally done. And for me, that made the softness, that made it kind of feel like it hung the way I wanted to. So I've been really happy these last 2 weeks to have my hair in decent braids that I did for the first time. Things I would do differently, because I wanted to do jumbo box braids, I used probably a pack of hair for 4 braids. That's how I started off, but that's way too much hair. So I would say that for me, the next time, I would say 1 pack of hair this size. This is what, 3.5 or 3 ounces of hair. I think this should be able to do at least 6 to 7 braids. Personally, I want to use a little less hair in them, but it may be just 6. I don't know, maybe six braids, but 4 was just too much hair in the braid for me, for my preference. I also think that having the hair pre-stretched for sure and having all of the hair already laid out, it makes it so much easier to be able to go. Having all of your products laid out makes it easier to go. But next time, I have a widow's peak, so I've always wanted to do a middle part. When I get my hair braided professionally, they usually do a center braid to grab that. But next time I'm going to do a little bit smaller parts. I didn't have a mirror in the back, so I wasn't able to see it as I went. Mike, my fiance, helped me part one section, and that was good. But I'm definitely going to be using smaller parts next time, and I'm going to use way less hair next time, and I'm not going to take any breaks. I think that that's also the thing where if you just go through and do it and knock it out, you can get it done. But when you're at home doing your hair, you can easily be tempted to do other stuff and it just drags it out. No shade, but I'm not that person that's about to be braiding my hair over 3 days. That's just not what I'm going to do. Also, I think I want to I have some hair that's darker. I think I'm going to take that hair that's darker, but it's way longer. I'm going to cut it in half and see what I can do with maybe shorter braids. And I also want to try that Beyonce plaited style that she did for the, what the fuck is her brand called? Ivy Park. I've been doing too much, and I'm wearing a fucking shirt from her concert. What's wrong with me? I want to try the plaited style she did with the Ivy Park launch, where she had maybe 6 braids on this side, 6 braids on that side. Really dope. I'm going to try that. So maybe I'll try that with the longer hair and then cut a few of the other packs I have. But yeah, as a first timer, I was surprisingly shocked at how easy it is. And I would say this on a deeper level, as a Black woman, it feels so good to be able to know how to do your hair in protective styles. I know how to care for my hair when it is natural. I know how to care for my hair and keep it healthy. So it felt really good knowing that there's protective style that I can do when in the past I've relied on stylists to do it. And I know now I can do quarantine or DIY braids, and they may not look like a professional, but also I'm not a professional hair braider, so they're not going to look professional. But I think it's really empowering to be able to do something as a Black woman for yourself, in terms of caring and grooming yourself. And it just feels really good. And yeah, I'm excited. So if I can do box braids, anybody can do box braids. And I know that's a cliche statement, but I'm someone who is not like a braider. So for me to be able to figure out how to do it, I feel like anyone can. The best thing I had going into this is having gone to really high quality braiders in the past. So at the end of the day, I know what good braids look like. I know what great braids look like, and I know what bogus braids look like. And I'm so proud that my DIY quarantine braids were not bogus. They were decent. Like I would give myself some props. Like I actually was not embarrassed or ashamed to be seen in public with these braids. But yeah, this is my very first time ever. I've been dancing all day, so like my hair is starting to sweat out of it. But yeah, this was just the break I needed. It's time to take these down. I was gonna be bootleg for a little bit, and I thought about saving the hair because it's like, where have I gone? What have I done? This hair is not that dirty. So I may save the hair and try again with this style. But yeah, these are my DIY quarantine box braids. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I put this originally on a separate Instagram post, so a few people had asked me questions. I think the main question I got was if the pre-stretched hair was like worth it, and hands down, the pre-stretched hair is honestly the only type of hair you should use. If you don't have access to the pre-stretched hair, I would say go through and pre-stretch all the hair and figure out your sections, how many braids you want to make, and have the hair ready to go. And that will save you some time. The one time before that I tried doing DIY box braids with the hair that is not pre-stretched, just trying to get the hair out for the one braid and get it sectioned off was so fucking frustrating that I was like, this is the dumbest shit ever. I don't even want the braids that bad. And I went on and did something else with my time. So definitely I would say get the pre-stretched hair. If you don't have access to it, go on Amazon. I've had some girlfriends be able to order it. Obviously, this is not an essential purchase, so the delivery times may be longer. But yeah, if not, just take your time, take all the hair you have, stretch it out. And there's been a bunch of YouTube videos that I watched. There's some really good ones out there. I don't even have the energy to post them in the comments, but if you actually want to know the YouTube videos that I use personally, just send me a DM and I'll just send it to you.